Hey there, friend. Tonight I want to tell you a story about secrets that travel faster than light and love that grows a little stronger every day, even when life seems ordinary. It's about how a whisper of history can spark a present you never expected. And how two strangers can find each other in the glow of a screen, a dusty bookstore, and a rain-soaked street. It's about how to read the echoes of the past and let them rewrite your own possibility of romance. In a town where the bakery warms the morning with cinnamon and the harbor keeps its own quiet. I owned a small bookstore with a window that fogged in winter and shone in summer. The shelves held promises you could almost taste vanilla, salt air. The tremor of a kiss remembered. One afternoon, while I was rearranging a box of old journals found behind a loose brick in the back room, a folded notebook peeped out like a shy confession. The cover was faded. The handwriting in it was someone else's. And yet the handwriting felt intimate. As if the ink had stayed up late to tell me a secret. I opened it and found two things. A diary from the 1940s that belonged to a man named Elias, and a diary from the same era that belonged to his love, Miriam. They wrote to each other almost daily. Not with grand declarations, but with the quiet courage of staying alive. Of choosing to see beauty in small moments when the world was loud with fear and doubt. They wrote about coffee at a corner cafe. About meeting under the rain by a bridge. About planting seeds in a garden that would someday feed a village. Their pages glowed with ordinary miracles, the way a letter found in a library book could move from pocket to pocket until it became a town's ritual. The way a photograph of a couple dancing in a square under the city lights could become a symbol in a generation's conscience. What made these diaries extraordinary wasn't just the love story they contained, but how their tiny acts of daily courage rippled through time. A radio host in the 60s read excerpts aloud. And suddenly the diaries felt contagious. As if hope were contagious too. People started leaving flowers on bridges. Gifting strangers with small kindnesses. Choosing to be brave in their own ordinary ways. And as these moments traveled from ear to ear, from mailbox to mailbox, from one generation to the next, they began to feel like a movement. Not because anyone tried to make it viral, but because people needed to believe in something beautiful enough to pass along. I found myself thinking, who wouldn't want to believe in something that makes ordinary days glow a little warmer? And who wouldn't want to be part of a romance that survives not only the storms that break over the town, but the quiet, gnawing loneliness that sometimes hides in a late-night message? So I started reading Miriam and Elias's pages aloud to visitors who wandered into the shop. That felt less like marketing and more like a candle lit in gratitude for the human heart. The more I read, the more I realized that the secret behind those diaries wasn't a clever trick to go viral, it was the pure, stubborn weave of two people choosing each other again and again. Even in the face of everything that could have pulled them apart. Enter Theo. A photographer who arrived one rainy afternoon with a camera that sounded like a heartbeat in its own chest. He was chasing a story for a magazine, sure. But underneath the professional calm, I sensed he was longing for something gentler than headlines, something that could outlast a single click. Something that felt like home. He asked to see the diaries, and when I handed them over, his eyes were not so much about the history as about a question he couldn't quite name. Could a story about love that survived become a map for his own heart? We spent days tracing the threads. A letter carried in a shoebox that ended up tucked inside an old cafe chair. A photograph that traveled from a dusty frame to a social feed. A line written in Miriam's diary, a line Elias added later, that said, "If the world forgets us, let our courage remind it." It wasn't glamorous, not at first. It was the aching sweetness of a shared search. Like two people finding each other's footprints in the same soft mud and deciding to walk together until the rain stopped. Our collaboration grew into something neither of us planned. A partnership built on listening. Theo brought the present's hunger for proof. The need to see a person behind the myth. To stand with a stranger on a street corner and say, Tell me your version of the night you almost gave up. And how you found your way back. I brought the past as stubborn shimmer the way a letter, a photo. A whispered line can travel through time and become a guide for how to love in the here and now. We followed the diary paths to an old bridge where Miriam and Elias once promised to meet if the rain stopped. The bridge stood over a river that slowed to a moan in the spring. And when we stood there together, the air itself felt like a page turning. The story shifted from history lessons into something intimate, the way two people, years apart, could mirror each other's fears and hopes and decide to stay. The diary's secret wasn't that it foretold a single ending. It was that it showed endings we could choose every day. As our research deepened, so did the chemistry between us. The longer we talked, the more the town seemed to lean in. Listening to every name we whispered, every favorite cafe we visited, every door we opened to the past. And then another thread emerged, an unexpected one. A descendant. A woman named Lila who owned the cafe closest to the old bridge. Found a letter Elias wrote to Miriam years after their first meeting. In it, he confessed that longing can become a kind of practice, a daily choice to be present, to be gentle, to be honest about fear and longing alike. That letter, when shared online by Lila and then picked up by readers worldwide, became the secret that changed history in a quieter way. It wasn't a scandal or a revelation that toppled a dynasty. It was a reminder that a single, brave confession can echo across decades and touch strangers who need to believe in romance they can grow with. People began to share their own small confessions. Their own bridges where they waded through rain and doubt. Their own rituals that made ordinary days feel extraordinary. The more we traced these threads, the more I understood the real meaning behind viral secrets that changed history, romance. It isn't about fame, or even about a perfect love story. It's about contagious tenderness, the way one honest note can travel from one heart to another, transforming neighbors into friends, friends into lovers, and lovers into weathered partners who can sit side by side through a life's worth of storms. It's about choosing to publish a book not to win accolades but to offer a doorway through which someone else might step into the same feeling we found, that a story can remind you that you are not alone, and that love, in all its stubborn, ordinary glory, can still rescue you from despair. So, what did these viral secrets teach us that we can carry into our own days? First, that the history we carry matters because it gives us language for what we feel, the longing, the fear, the stubborn hope that keeps showing up even when the night is long. Second, that romance isn't only about a single moment of fireworks. It's about choosing to show up, again and again, to the person who matters most to you, and letting the daily, imperfect acts of care become the rhythm of your life. And third, that sharing a vulnerable truth, whether aloud in a cafe, on a thread of a social feed, or in the quiet of an attic, can become a bridge for others. A place where they find the courage to believe in their own kind of happy ending. Theo and I didn't set out to change history. We set out to listen. To trace a living thread that could help someone else believe in the possibility of love that endures. And as we wrote the final pages of our own little project, a book that gathers Miriam and Elias's letters with modern reflections, the town found a new pulse. The bookstore became a gathering place where strangers traded stories of small bravery. The bridge by the river turned into a quiet pilgrimage site. And every rainy afternoon felt like a reminder that romance isn't a fairy tale handed to you. It's a practice, a decision to stay, to forgive, to listen, to begin again. If you're listening to this and you've ever felt that romance has become a rumor you once believed in, I want you to hear this. The power of a secret can be measured by what it gives you permission to do next. A secret can be the spark that starts a conversation, the nudge to tell someone how you truly feel, the courage to show up when you're scared you'll be left behind. The viral pieces of history we touched, those diaries, those letters, that photograph, don't just remind us of what once happened. They invite us to participate in what could happen next if we choose to trust love again, in our own way, in our own time. Let me leave you with a moment to hold close. On a night when the rain painted the windows with a silver script, Theo turned to me and whispered, "Let us not forget to tell the next chapter of our story." I squeezed his hand, feeling the weight of all the stories that had brought us here, the ones that traveled through time and found us in this quiet room. The ones that asked us to be brave, to risk a little more, to believe in romance that isn't loud or flashy, but steady and true. And in that hushed, almost sacred moment, I understood that the secrets which truly change history are the ones we carry forward, the ones that say, "You are seen. You are worthy of a second chance." Love, if you invite it in, will stay and make a home in you. So I invite you to be part of this ongoing conversation, not as a spectator, but as a fellow traveler. If you've tucked away a memory you're afraid to share, bring it into the light. If you've felt the sting of disillusionment, let this story be a gentle nudge that hope can be rescued from the margins of your life and placed where you can touch it. Romance isn't a spell cast by fate, it's a long, intimate craft woven by two people who choose to stay, again and again, through rain, silence, and the everyday miracles that hide in plain sight. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own bridge in the rain. Your own quiet doorway into a version of history where your love story matters, where your small act of bravery becomes a viral seed that grows, not into a rumor, but into a life you share with someone who sees you, really sees you, and chooses you back. Thank you for listening. I hope you carry a little of this warmth with you, enough to keep faith in romance alive when the world feels busy or indifferent. Because if you're listening, you're already part of the secret that love, once shared, can keep traveling, can keep healing, can keep turning ordinary days into something luminous and true. And that is the kind of history I want to be part of every single day. The end of one story is only the turning of a page in another. And in the margins of that page, I believe you'll find your own name, your own willingness to trust again, and your own small, miraculous way of making love go viral in the best, gentle